What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Switch Podcast, man. I'm your host, Q1 Humphreys. And, I know I'm a little late. I'm recording this Tuesday morning. The Game 7s was on Sunday. We have a Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. I know I'm a little late, but life happens, and y'all gonna get this today. So, coming into Sunday, 25% of the road teams in NBA history coming into a Game 7 came home with a win. And on Sunday, both the road teams defied the odds and defied me because both of my picks were wrong. I had the Knicks beating the Pacers in 7, and I had the Nuggets beating the Wolves in 7, when in actuality, the Pacers beat the Knicks in 7, and the Wolves beat the Nuggets in 7. So I'm going to look at both these games and then give my predictions for the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. So first, look at the Pacers and the Knicks. The final score of this game was 130 to 109 Pacers. Now, looking at this game, they got off to a really hot start. A really hot start. The Pacers, they came out firing on all cylinders, and that's been the case with the Pacers for pretty much all of their wins. They came out firing on all cylinders, got a big lead early, and the Knicks had to battle back for majority of the game. Now, when you think about the Knicks and the Pacers, man, I feel like it's crazy how they have another Game 7 with a berth to the conference finals on the line, because we all know about Reggie Miller and Patrick Ewing and how them two teams went back and forth. And you could kind of see that kind of in this game and in this series. There were several times in this series where the two teams were jawing with one another, or whether, there was a small scuffle that happened. But once again, just like back in the day, the Pacers was winning. The Pacers won. The Pacers put the Knicks away. And I feel like the biggest reason for me why the Pacers got a big lead early was because OG Anunoby. We remember his injury actually changed the tide of this entire series. They were up 2-0 with OG healthy, and they ended up losing the 4 the next 5 games with OG hurt. But OG hurt his hamstring in Game 3, I believe, or Game 2, Game 3. And this is his first game back. Now, a hamstring is weird, y'all, because a hamstring, there's nothing you can really do with that. There's nothing you can do with that. Like, it may feel better or it may feel worse. You never really know. So he hobbled out there, and he could not move at all. You can see it. He hit 2 shots. He threw up a prayer from the 3-point line of the corner in the first quarter, but he hit 2 shots, and the Pacers did a good job of seeing, okay, OG's on this guy, throw the ball to him, because he can't close out, and if he does close out, he can't slide his feet. He's just not physically fit to play. And it like the Knicks tried to force him out there to see what happened. Didn't work out, and that's what did it. Now, the first quarter, outside of OG, the Pacers were still hitting. Pascal Siakam started out really well. He had 11 points early in the game, 5 for 5 shooting from the field, but it was a full Pacers onslaught. It was a full Pacers assault. They had 6 guys in double digits. I got the stats right here. Tyrese Halliburton had a great first quarter as well. He had a bunch of threes in this game. He had 26 points, 6 assists, and 6 threes made. Pascal Siakam, I just said how he started out 5 for 5. He finished with 20 points in the game. Andrew Nemhard, who's been great this series, he had 20 points. Miles Turner had 19. And Miles Turner had 17. Aaron Nesmith had 19, 8 for 8 from the field. He did not miss a shot. He made play after play, made shot after shot over the course of this game. And TJ McConnell has, over the course of this series, he's been the perfect backup for Tyrese Halliburton, because you got the offense onslaught that is Tyrese, and you got the defense, quickness, and the IQ and the tenacity of a TJ McConnell. He came in and hit several pull-up middies in the tweener area in the middle of the third quarter while the Knicks were making their run. Now, the Pacers were up big going into the half, and the Knicks started to battle back. They started to hit shots, started to get stops. It looked like, okay, the Knicks might do this. The Knicks might come back. They cut it down to at the most 8. But the play that really ended this game was this play right here, where Tyrese Halliburton got a run-out layup. Jalen Brunson chasing behind him, does the swipe down. The routine swipe down that we always see players do, trying to either, knock the ball loose or force a miss. He ends up hitting the thigh knee area of Tyrese, and he had to leave the game, and it ended up he ended up having a fractured hand and would not return. Now, he did not have the best game even before the injury. 17 points, 6 for 17 from the field, but if you want to make a comeback, you need your best player in the game. Because even though Dante DiVincenzo gave you near 40 points, without having a guy that I guess got you there, it's tough. Now, I asked this question a couple weeks ago, or a couple videos ago, I'm sorry. Are the injuries for the Knicks catching up to them? And I think they did. I think we can see they did. Josh Hart wasn't 100%. He got hurt in Game 6. I just spoke on Brunson and OJ Anunoby being hurt. Now, they were without 6 starters for the end of this series. Or 6 guys that played. Now, if you think about the Knicks, the only person that started in Game 1 for them of the NBA season was Jalen Brunson. Everybody else was either traded or they were hurt. And it's going to be very hard to win this deep in the playoffs if you're not healthy. That's why the playoffs, winning a championship is all about luck, and the Knicks really got unlucky. Knicks fans, keep your heads high. Y'all going to be back because the Knicks have money. The Knicks have money. I believe they have money to go out and get another decent player to put with this already really good roster. Now, moving on to what I believe was the game of the day, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves defeated Denver Nuggets 98-90. And they won because they closed out the game on a 60-32 run. In the third quarter, the Nuggets were up by 20. And they ended up losing by near double digits. Now, that is insane. They said this is the largest comeback in Game 7 history. And looking at the game, this was a game that Anthony Edwards did not have the business. Anthony Edwards struggled. He went 6 for 24 in front of the field. Hit some big shots late in the game. But what I anticipated Anthony Edwards to do to be a dominant, presence throughout the whole game did not happen. Now, Jaden McDaniels had a good game. Rudy Gobert had offensively, he went crazy. He had a crazy and one in the third quarter. He had a turnaround jumper. Yes, Rudy Gobert had a turnaround jumper in the third quarter. And let me just show y'all the turnaround jumper right here. Now, when this shot went down, I'm watching it. I'm okay. They're not gonna win this game. The Nuggets, if Gobert is hitting a turnaround jumper, you are not going to beat them because that's just the basketball gods. I talk about being lucky with the Knicks. If that shot goes in, luck is not on your side if you're the Nuggets. But the way they played in the first half, it didn't look like they needed luck on their side. Because in the first half, the Nuggets were dominating. Jamal Murray had 24 points at the half. Jokic was getting in where he fit in. There was really nothing. They were stopping Anthony Edwards. They were trapping every single pick that Anthony Edwards threw, made somebody else either force into a tough shot or made somebody else beat them. And it looked like, okay, I said, okay, my prediction for that's going to be good. Because I had a lot of people in my comment section, a lot of y'all in the comment section said that they got the Timberwolves. And I was like, okay, y'all a fan of Ant, but it's still Jokic and it's still the best player and the best team in the NBA. Now, third quarter happened, and I believe I was watching the game. They missed like 10 straight shots. The Nuggets missed 10 straight shots, and the Timberwolves were coming down, running off those misses, getting threes, layups, shots. They were scoring. So, and that lead started to dwindle. And I was like, oh, boy. Because the adjustment that they made, they put Anthony Edwards on Jamal Murray. Anthony Edwards is one of those dogs where if he's not scoring, you can put him on the best scorer for the other team, and he's gonna die trying to stop that dude from scoring. And that's exactly what happened. Jamal Murray had 24 points at half, ended up finishing with 35. Now you look at Jokic. Nikola Jokic did not have the best game. Yes, he had 34, 35 points, but he shot terribly. He shot 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. He missed a bunch of his layups because he's facing more than one guy down there now. It was just tough, and it looked like it got to a point where the Wolves figured out what the Nuggets wanted to do. They went back to their game 1 and game 2 play style where off a pick and roll, they're gonna chase off the pick and roll, and whoever's guarding Jokic is gonna go straight to him. They're gonna turn their back on Murray and go straight to him because that guy that was initially guarding Murray, which was Ant in the second half, he got picked off, but he chased him. So it did not allow Murray to do his little pull-up midi. So if you're chasing a guy, they're gonna force him to the paint, down to Gobert where he wants you to be. And man, it's 2 days later and I'm still shocked. It's 2 days later and I'm still shocked at the fact that the Nuggets, not that they lost, but the fact that they absolutely dropped the ball in a Game 7 situation. Like that's insane to me. But I look at the stats. and I'm gonna toot my horn a little bit here because I told y'all a couple videos ago that how I would beat the Denver Nuggets. I would beat the Denver Nuggets by allowing Jokic to beat us by himself. Jokic got to beat us by himself. We're not gonna let anybody else get into a rhythm. Now, Jamal Murray had 30 points as well, but when he got taken out of the game, Jokic was coming out taking every single shot because they were not helping our shooters. And then it seemed like when they helped off the shooters weren't in rhythm and they did not want to shoot the ball. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray combined for 69 of the team's 90 points, and they shot 55 combined shots. Now, this is not how they want to play. Yes, this is the best 1-2 punch, in my opinion, in the NBA when it comes to, the attack and the unstoppable pick and roll. But their play style is not for them to shoot 50, 60 shots. And that's what the Wolves forced them into, and that is ultimately why they're going home. The Timberwolves are going to their second ever Western Conference Finals. The first time in 20 years. I believe it was a 20-year anniversary of the last Game 7 that the Timberwolves played in with Kevin Garnett versus, I want to say, the Sacramento Kings back in 2004. But man, I'm shocked. I'm excited. Now, quick predictions for the Western and Eastern Conference Finals is going to be the Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers and the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I have the Celtics in 6. I have the Celtics in 6 just because Boston has shown me that they're not really, they may win it all, but they're not really killers to where they just come out and just finish opponents. They gave Cleveland a game, they gave Miami a game, and I think Indiana's better than both those teams, especially with, the offensive onslaught that they have, a bunch of weapons, their pace, the way they play. They're going to make things a little tough for the Celtics to stop them. And if they say Porzingis may be back game 3, game 4. But if he's not back, I don't see them sweeping or winning in 5. I see them winning in 6 games. Now, looking at looking at Minnesota versus Dallas, I also have the Wolves in 6 games. Now, y'all know I'm a Kyrie fan. My heart is saying go with the Mavs, man. But I gotta use what I'm seeing and what I'm watching for real. And I think the Wolves have their attack is gonna overwhelm the Mavericks. Not necessarily on the defensive end, because like I said, I do believe that Luka can have his way. Do what he does on offense. And I think Kyrie's gonna get back to being a more aggressive scorer in this series. But I think they just don't match up well with the size and with the length of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I have the Minnesota Timberwolves in 6 and the Celtics in 6. A little thick video for y'all, man, but it was a lot to talk about. We had 2 whole Game 7s to talk about, so I'm gonna be talking for a little minute. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We're at 93 subscribers. We need 7 more for the 100 sub goal. We have about a week and some change left before June 1st. Let's get it done. Love y'all. Appreciate the love and support. We out of here. Yay!